Indonesia has cleared Chinese-made Sinovac vaccine only can be used for people age 12 and above, of which it has the most amount in its arsenal with over 200 million doses. Now, Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine also approved for younger children. And to discuss about this, joining us on Asia Prime tonight, the spokesperson of the Indonesian Health Ministry, Ibu Siti Nadia Tarmizi. Assalamualaikum, Ibu Nadia.
Waalaikumsalam, Mbak Vivi.
Ibu Nadia, does the BPOM or the Indonesian Food and Drug Administration recommendation, is it a turning point in our battle against the COVID-19, particularly in Indonesia?
Yeah, I think first this is really a good news, yeah, since I think most of the parents already waiting for long to have a decision whether their children can got the vaccination, especially COVID-19. But of course, besides that, this is a good news for us that BPOM already approved that we can start the vaccination for the age between 6 to 11 years old. So of course, it will be additional protection, yeah, for the children, and especially when we are trying to get more than 70% of the population to be vaccinated in order to fight this pandemic. But for the second step, of course, we need to have a good preparation, because in providing 6 to 11 years old, it might be different from the previous vaccination that we have done before.
Ibu Nadia, how is it going to be different when we want to have a vaccine rollout for the age group of 6 to 11?
Of course. So the first, we need to wait for the recommendation either from Indonesian Pediatrician Organization and Indonesian Advisory on Immunization that about the doses of the vaccine that we will inject to this age group, because of course they are still young children, and it might not same with the teenager that previously has been recommended for a dose that have the same dose like adult. Yeah, so that's the first one. And the second one, we need again to work and waiting for the recommendation which children with certain condition that allow to directly to be vaccinated. As we know that some children might have like a congenital disease that, for example, they have a heart disease, or they might have like asthma disease, or even like immunocompromised condition that might prevent them to get the vaccination. So this such as a condition that need to be standardized in order to provide vaccination to the age group. Of course, we need to identify when the condition allow to directly to provide the injection, or we have to postpone, or either this should not be allowed to be vaccinated in this condition.
Ibu Nadia, considering what you have just said, you would need a green light from IDAI and ITAGI. So what's the time frame? When can we start vaccinating the age group of 6 to 11?
Yes, I think because of the approval from the BPOM about allowing us to provide this vaccination to 6 to 11 years old, it will be additional target for current vaccination that we have done. Yeah. Previously, our target like 208 million people, but now with additional of 6 to 11 years old, it will be at around 25 up to 27 million children. So it's mean it will be goes up into like 235 target for COVID-19 vaccination in Indonesia. So because of this additional target, we need to prepare the number that vaccine that we have been secure, because previously it was secure for 208 million target. Now with the additional like 25, 27 million, so it's mean it will be additional more vaccine, especially Sinovac, because this vaccine that has been granted to be
So,
used for
Ibu
6
Nadia,
years
so
old vaccination.
are you saying that because of the BPOM authorization for the 6 to 11 age group, and you said that 25 million vaccination should be available for these age group, will this have a significant interference for the ongoing young adults or adults vaccination program in Indonesia at the moment?
Yeah, I think the current policy, we still prioritize the previous target, 208 million will be our first priority. So we will target it by the end of this year. The first dose for 208 million, it should be reached like 85%. And for the second dose, it should be like 60 until 65%. And for the 6 to 11 years old, we will provide the vaccination later when we already have a green light from Sinovac that the Sinovac manufacturer available to send this vaccine to Indonesia in the earlier or maybe as soon as the possible. But as long as we are not get any good a good news from Sinovac that they are able to send us the additional vaccine as soon as possible, we might not able to start soon for providing the vaccination for these young children, because we know that the risk of older people like elderly or 30 years old up is more than the young children. It's like a 3 or 4, even like 5 folds compared to these 6 to 11 years old. We are aware that these young children, usually if they got infected by COVID-19, usually they don't have any symptoms or maybe just very mild.
Very well then. So I know you stated that you will need to prepare, but can we just at least have a time frame? Of course, when we work, we have a timeline. Just a time frame, a probability of when we can start inoculating our children from age to 6 to 11. Because at the moment, children are going back to school. And the other question following my other question is that has there been any evaluation of children going back to school and their risk of contracting the COVID disease?
Yeah, okay, so I think currently for the Sinovac vaccine, we are waiting for Sinovac to ship like 40 million doses of Sinovac, because these 40 million doses will be used for the second dose of Sinovac that has been inoculated to most of the current target. That's the first step. And the second one, we do hope that the Sinovac can provide us this additional vaccine for 6 to 11 years old, at least on the first quarter of 2022. So if it is already confirmed, Sinovac can provide on that period between January to March 2022, we can start soon for providing a vaccine to this 6 to 11 years old. And we can start from the district who already reached like 70% of their first dose for 218 million targets. or they already reached like 60% of elderly target. So these two conditions should be met before the district can start the vaccination for these 6 up to 11 years old. And secondly, about our evaluation for reopening the school, we have conduct like surveillance in this institution. Yeah, so we found in several cities that have been conduct this surveillance, mostly the one that got more infected. It might be during reopening school. It was in junior and senior high school. So it's mean in the range that the number of children that more infected is the one or which already get vaccinated. So I think vaccination itself, we cannot rely on this because as we see, mostly like junior and senior high school, the one that we found more cases of COVID-19 after the reopening the school. So it means the health protocols is still something who played a big role in prevent the children to get infected.
Very well then, Ibu Siti Nadia Tarmizi, always a pleasure to have you with us. Have a good evening, Ibu. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will be back right after the break, so please stay with us on Asia Prime.